All right, we are here with one of my favorite people in the video game industry, Pete Hines from Bethesda.
Hello.
Hello. So we all watched together the Bethesda briefing on Sunday. We all had great expectations of Fallout 76. Can we ask a question? Did you reveal it before E3 because you had to start painting a building? That's our going theory right now.
No, we revealed it before E3 because keeping secrets is a giant pain in the ass. And then because we decided that we were announcing it beforehand, we actually announced it on the last possible day that we could also get the building painted in time for E3. So it kind of worked out.
Nice.
Perfect aligning.
Yeah, that's because immediately after we started to see the in progress shots, and of course that ended up fueling all kinds of speculation as well. The reveal was a lot of fun. The confirmation of all our hard-hitting speculation that yes, this is going to be a multiplayer game. This is entirely online Fallout. We are coming out of Vault 76 in West Virginia, and you're going to be sharing this West Virginia wasteland now with other players, other Vault boys.
Well, the team really liked the idea of having an online experience where all of the humans that you saw, all the characters that you saw, were a real person. Now, it is more like this size. It's not like this size, as Todd said. We think about it in terms of dozens, not hundreds or thousands. Right. It's not an MMO. It's not a battle royale. It's not a free-for-all PvP, last man standing. It's a role-playing game. It's a role-playing game where you get to decide who you want to be in this world. Are you going to help people? Are you going to attack people? Do you want to be a traitor? Do you want to build? Do you not want to build? It's entirely up to the player. You know, it's a world with very few rules where you get to decide who you want to be. But it is important to point out that some of those rules, in fact, govern the PvP so that it doesn't become this, I keep getting killed by somebody who's just decided to keep chasing after me and killing me. That PvP is almost more like a challenge system. Right?
So what's going to be the controlling system or the mechanics that are going to decide how many people are in your world, who is in your world?
Sure. So first of all, the number of people is going to come out of playtesting. We keep messing with that and playing with it to feel like how often do we want people to be seeing other people. I mean, it's 4 times the size of Fallout, so it's already huge. But we want there to be enough without too much. As far as where you play, you're just going to jump in and play. You don't select a server, but the more important thing is you have the ability to decide to play with other people if that matters to you. So if you go to play and you see that Jinx is online playing, that you can just say, I want to go play with her, and you will now show up in the version of the game that she's in. But if not, you'll just show up playing, and who knows who's in the world. But it's always going to be sort of a smaller, contained number of folks. But it is a game where you can have multiple characters, right? It's not just about one, so you could decide, well, this is a character that I'm playing where I only play by myself. This is one I'm going to play when I'm playing with other people. You know, character customization, who do you want to be, making your character unique for how you're playing. I'm going to focus on melee, I'm going to focus on this. All of those things still possible that you would expect from sort of Fallout special character customization.
So then through that, how are you going to be weaving in, I would assume, some sort of narrative into the game?
There is narrative, like when you go to leave the vault, you have a first thing that the overseer asks you to do that leads you down a sort of a path of a story, but tons of quests and content in the world like you would expect. So you will get quests from folks, you will find stuff to do, you can go out and just explore and find things to do out in the wasteland. You can group up with other people, you can not group up with other people. It's really up to you to decide how you want to experience and play the game.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of Fallout fans who are super excited to be able to explore with friends, but because these games have also been such strong single-player experiences, a lot of people wondering how that is going to work. If you decide to fly fully solo, what's that going to look like? Are you going to need to worry about avoiding other players?
Well, no more so than, like, first of all, when you're playing Fallout 4, when you see or you hear gunshots or you see a deathclaw, like, well, you still have control over that in terms of, do I want to go try and trade with that person? Do I not? Do I want to take that thing out? Do I not? in all of the playtesting, I have pretty much, with one exception, played entirely solo. I never group up with anybody. I just, because I want to see how does it feel to play by myself. It's like playing a Fallout game.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of quests going on. I'm deciding which one I want to do, or I stop heading towards where I have to go for this quest because I saw something over there, and I walk over to see what it is, and then the next thing you know, I just spent 45 minutes over in this thing, like getting stuff, or I get loaded up in my inventory and I do some crafting, or right. It's still just like playing a Fallout game, except now when you see that character, we're not telling you for you, oh, this is a vendor, oh, that's a raider, oh, that's a Brotherhood of Steel guy. You have to figure out in all of those situations how you're going to, do I want to see if that person wants to talk to me? Do I want to see if they need help with something? Or it's so there's a little bit more tension there. But again, it only goes to a certain point, and after that, you have to decide whether you want it to continue or not. So the example that I've given is, if you're in our game and you see a Deathclaw and you try and kill it, and it kicks your ass, you go back and you reload your game. You didn't lose anything in your inventory. You haven't lost any progress, and you can say, I'm going to get that Deathclaw. And you can go back, and it could kill you 5 more times in a row. But at any point, you could have said, I'm good. I'm going to go and just do something else. It's not like that Deathclaw comes and chases you across the map and keeps trying to kill you. PvP should feel exactly the same way. Just because that's now controlled by a human doesn't mean that we should allow anything in the world to continue sort of coming after you over and over again. That if you just want to say, I'm good, you should be able to do that.
That's reassuring to hear. You talked about that there's going to be base building. It was a big part of Fallout 4 that a lot of people loved. And you say that's going to be a part of 76. Can you give details on that? And also specifically, how does that live on when you log off?
Well, and also I think with the multiplayer, how ownership of certain things works.
There, some of that stuff we're still messing with slightly different versions of it, but basically the building you can do as much of or as little of as you want. So if you want to be entirely nomadic and just never put down roots, fine. If you want to build, you can totally build. You can have other people come and build with you. And yes, we sort of have some different rules about ownership and how all of that works. And then the main idea is, unlike Fallout 4, you can take that and put it pretty much anywhere on the map that you want. So you can set up a thing and start building stuff and go, I don't want to be here, I want to be over there on the top of that hill. And there's a pretty easy method for just going and putting it there. The same way that, okay, maybe that's a bad example. Maybe I'm playing and I see Jinx and I want to play with her, that I can join her game and all that stuff will come with me into her game. Okay. It doesn't get left behind in wherever, because again, as Todd said, like, don't think about it as servers. Like, oh, well, my stuff is on that other server. Like, no, it's not. It's in the game. And when you decide to play that game again with that character, that stuff is there. Don't worry about like, oh, well, I left it behind. Like, no, it comes with you. We never want it to be punishing. We never want it to be like, oh, I came back in the game and everything was destroyed. Like that isn't at the core of what we want this to be about.
There are a couple of other things too that people have been wondering about with the move from entirely single player to multiplayer, optional, online.
Yep.
And that's things like VATS. But I think you guys have started talking a little bit about VATS, that it is still part of the game. It's just it is making a couple of tweaks because we are now looking at a
so it's
shared
real time, because it turns out slowing down the game is not a great idea when there's other people. I'm like, wait, what? Why is my game all of a sudden slowing down? Who's using VATS right now? So it's real time, but what VATS still allows you to do, though we always wanted it to do, is you being able to headshot somebody doesn't just have to come down to only your skill. As I said, it's still a role-playing game, and so if you want your character to be incredibly accurate with rifles, then you can use VATS to allow your character to be better than you can.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be about what your character can do, not just what you can do. And so in real time, you can use VATS to target body parts like you're used to, and use the skill that you've built up in your character to pull off a shot that maybe you can't do with a keyboard and mouse.
The end result will still be there. It's just the execution of it is not going to be the same experience.
Yes, it's sort of distinguishing between how good are you at aiming at somebody and how good is your character.
Right.
Because you are actually playing him or her. And so it can be about that. Again, if you want. If you don't want to use VATS and you don't want to put your level ups into making yourself better at VATS, well then don't. Like, do whatever. Use melee or be better at other stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw as well in the trailer, this is a glimpse that we love going through trailers frame by frame and seeing what hints there are. And it looks like is there some kind of like class system or like points or skill allocation opens up.
There's
a
a level.
poster in there that seems to indicate like you can be like a medic or maybe like an engineer.
We haven't
builder.
gone into the full like how all of that works, but if you know Fallout and you know our special system and how it works with leveling up and improving your abilities and deciding how you're going to progress, all of that same stuff. What are the kinds of things you want to be good at, or more importantly, what are the things you want your character to be good at? All of that stuff is still there.
Will you be adding more radiation creatures?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've done, one of the things that adding the ability to fire nukes off onto the map is it creates high-level zones within the area that you've targeted where those creatures and things now become irradiated, and that's sort of like high-level content areas for that period of time where you can get really rare things and fight really tough irradiated creatures.
Okay, so that's
I mean, you'll find them elsewhere as well because there's
Right.
radiation all over. But in those specific areas, you're saying
spawn.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
And
And
again,
is that where we end up with like sloths, the like the giant mushroom sloths?
well, those can also just exist
'Cause
because that area
those are
happens
dope.
to be. Don't they look kind of cute and cuddly? I mean, other than those terrifyingly long claws.
Sure, right up until they take your head off, they seem really sweet.
They do seem really sweet. But yeah, so there's irradiated areas that are just naturally there and creatures that are naturally there, but then you can also create purpose-built ones in a section of the map. And again, important to note, what you're targeting is a section of the map. You're not saying, oh, I want to nuke Pete. Although I know a lot of people do want to nuke Pete, but you're nuking an area of the map.
You might want to not name your base Pete Hines.
That's probably a good idea. I found that to be
I will
true.
not be naming mine either because there are people who will
Also
be
a
like,
good
hey,
tip.
John.
Just name your base on the spot.
Yeah.
And when you're in that area, like you know that a nuke is coming in. So like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, well, move. Like when it says a nuke is coming to this area, get out of that area, and then you'll be. It's not like it happens instantaneously, and it's not like they're gonna be popping off every 5 seconds. It's hard to get a complete code to launch one, and then get to the area where you have to launch them, and then actually launch and target a section of the map. And it's a massive map, so it is not just like I'm constantly getting griefed or dodging nukes. Like that is not the game that we are making. That is not what this game is supposed to be about.
Will
And-
there, sorry.
How is all that going to work? It was there are like 6 nukes per map. Is that what it was?
There's multiple sites. Again, part of the balance thing is, well, how many can there be going at once?
How difficult are they to get?
Yes, all of that stuff. And again, part of it is like we're doing a ton of playtesting internally, but as we continue to open it up both within our company and then get to beta, a lot of that is going to be, this is Todd's mantra that he's always talked about, which is great games are played, not made. You can write anything down on paper, it works like this.
Yeah.
But until you play it and go, this doesn't feel right. They're too often, they're too few, there's not enough, there's too many. All of those things have to get sussed out in gameplay.
Now, we're spending so much time talking about Fallout 76 because it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is stoked to see that it's coming and coming so quickly. But you announced a bunch of games during the show as well. So where is Elder Scrolls 6 set?
In Tamriel.
So close.
What? You got an answer.
I know.
Not the answer
so
you wanted.
You confirmed not only that Elder Scrolls 6 is a thing, which we all figured Elder Scrolls 6 would be a thing at some point, but also you confirmed your first new IP in how many years? Starfield.
25 years.
That's a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very exciting, and that's going to be it's described as a next-gen project. And that's what you'll be working on after you got 76 here.
Big epic sci-fi single-player game.
Big epic sci-fi single-player game.
Made by
really
Bethesda.
excited about
Made
that.
by
I'm
Bethesda
signed
Game
up.
Studios.
I'm signed up.
Yeah, the speculation about that alone on the internet has been fun for months and months and months. We love your trademarks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm sure you guys aren't ready to talk about that yet, but so far it seems like you guys are working on 76, then Starfield, then Elder Scrolls 6.
Correct.
So
It was more
we
about
need to
just-
settle in, don't
It
we?
was more about laying out a roadmap. Like Bethesda Game Studios games still take a while. They're very big. They're very ambitious. They're not coming out within a couple of months of each other, but at least you sort of understand the cadence and have some notion of what they're going to be. I mean, V.A.T.S. 6, it's going to be a role-playing game set in Tamriel, but
What?
For Starfield, like understanding just at least a little bit of where they might be going, and it's fun to see people's heads start to jump to what it might be. That game is batshit. Like it is so crazy already. So I'm super excited about everything that they're working on.
I'm very excited to hear more about that. You also talked more about Rage 2, which was conveniently announced thanks to your friends at Walmart Canada.
Love those guys.
I gotta say, you guys had out of all of the games that were part of that lovely reveal, and that some of them have eventuated and some of them haven't at this point. But you guys seem to have the most fun with it, for sure. Like, just went, well, let's lean into this. Let's have a good time.
Yep.
You announced Rage 2. What do we need to know about that now?
It is an insane open world first-person shooter. It's taking the first-person shooter mechanics and feel that it is really well known for and bringing it to Avalanche Studios, who have done a number of different big open world sandbox type things. And honestly, taking where we finished with Rage and really trying to deliver on the promise of what we thought that franchise could really be, which is, I had a ton of fun playing Rage. I finished it, if you can call that ending a finish. We sort of forgot to put a really good ending in our game. But the shooting mechanics and sort of how it felt different than Doom, how it felt different than Wolf, but still felt weighty, and bringing that to the ability where it's seamless, and adding vehicle combat that Avalanche is really known for, and emergent gameplay where you're just driving around and you can get quests and stuff to do, or we have all these different clans in the game. You see one of them here, but there's a bunch of them spread around the world, and taking out their outposts, just all of that over-the-top stuff in a giant single-player open world. We're super excited.
And yeah, so far the tone of the marketing and what we've seen and everything is it's big, it's open world, it's crazy, it's over the top. It seems like it's very, very punky, lots of fun. How is that going to translate? It seems like it's exaggerating what we saw in the original Rage. The original Rage seemed a little bit more straightforward, like you could see the beginning in that direction, but this seems like it's really going up.
Well, my joke is that we feel like the original Rage used the entire spectrum of the color brown, from really light to really dark, and really all the browns in between. And this time around, we wanted to pull out some of the other crayons that hadn't been worn down to a nub and use those. So we're really leaning into that a lot and making it bright and colorful and fun. And look, there's a lot of different reasons to play video games, but I'm into them because they're fun. And we want to make sure that it doesn't get missed that that our game is just about fun and having a good time. And Andrew WK did that for us. Like, we just think his music and his attitude is really positive and fun. And the colors and everything else. You can see during the gameplay that there's a feature we have called Rage Mode, where if you do enough damage, you can sort of set off this special mode, and you notice like the screen adds some of those bright colors. Like, it's really supposed to be fun and over the top and a good time.
I mean, that's also words I would use to describe Doom, in that it was just, Doom is a first-person shooter, but how do you describe Doom beyond other FPSs? It was like the pace and the funness level was just turned up, and it was one of the most satisfying FPSs I've ever played.
Though I think you would admit that Doom does have a somewhat serious side. It doesn't try and take itself too seriously, right? You fist bump your little thing, but it's not being like over the top. And I think Rage does try and actually intentionally do a little bit over the top, almost in the way that sometimes Wolfenstein II, and sometimes, like a healthy number of times, Wolfenstein II goes over the top. Like, wait, did that really happen? Like, sure, okay, let's roll with it. Like, so Rage 2 is definitely embracing that kind of like just crazy, unhinged.
Well, and speaking of Wolfenstein, you announced 2 games for Wolfenstein. So there's Youngblood, which is going to be following the 2 daughters, and that's going to be a co-op experience.
Well, it's a game where you get to play as one of the twins. This is set 18 years after the events in New Colossus. So you get to play as one of the twins. You can play it single player, and that other twin is just an AI companion that moves through the game, like in any number of other, Gears of War or whatever. But you can also have somebody who can play that other twin if the 2 of you want to go through and play together. So it's sort of designed to be single player, but then also designed to support a second player. Machine Games wanted to branch out a little bit and not only not have BJ as the protagonist, but also, experiment a little bit with cooperative play and see how it felt.
Can't wait to see what kind of daughters he's raised.
They're awesome daughters.
And then you're also doing a VR experience with that.
It's called Cyberpilot.
Great name, by the way.
And we have it actually playable over in our booth. And the idea is that you're you're a hacker for the Resistance who can hack any of the machines or Nazi robots that they have, Panzerhunds and all that stuff, and take them over and then turn them against all the Nazis. So you're kicking Nazi ass as all these different Nazi machines that you've hacked and taken over. It's a lot of fun.
The Wolfenstein franchise as a whole has been just something that's like hasn't had a misstep in my book. It's just been so fun each iteration you guys have added on, and the fact that you guys are adding in this VR experience as well as the twins as a new way of playing the game. I love that you guys are trying to still tackle it from a different angle, and I'm looking forward to how Youngblood kind of specifically hammers out.
Yeah, I think we're excited to show folks more and show you more of what that game is going to be about, but it's going to be really good.
Set in the 80s is even just an interesting part of it that I'm excited to see how that's going to look as far as aesthetically.
Move to a slightly different time frame and sort of see how that feels.
Yeah.
All right, I know we've been covering a lot of stuff really quickly because there were so many things announced.
There was a lot.
I want to go back to the Elder Scrolls just for a minute because there were two things. One was Elder Scrolls Blades, which is going to be a mobile title, but it looks, what you guys have been doing pushing the mobile technology looks pretty impressive.
Crazy.
And
like
how
we
is
have
all that
people in
gonna
the
work?
booth that swear that we're streaming it from a PC onto a phone because they don't believe that the phone can run a game that looks like that. Like, no, like here, look, it's just running on a phone.
It's a good reaction.
It's great. It's a full-fledged Elder Scrolls game that looks like a console game, but it's on your phone. And we're going to start with the phones, but as Todd said, we're going to bring this to as many platforms systems as possible, including VR. You know, everything from mobile VR all the way up to high-end PC VR. Just again, like we make a game, we want as many people as possible to be able to play it.
Well, and we saw that with Fallout Shelter as well. You know, you guys did your big mic drop, like, hey, it's available now. Great, crashed all the app stores. We played it. Great on PC. You announced it's coming to Switch as well.
Yep, it's out on PS4 and Switch right now.
Which is super exciting. We can complete it all over again.
Yep.
And then the other thing with Elder Scrolls was Skyrim, very special edition. And what I loved about that is you actually, with the ridiculous trailer with the Alexa integration.
We got you twice.
You did. You actually released an Alexa talent for Skyrim Very Special Edition.
It started as a joke, as most Todd Howard ideas do. It started off as a very simple thing.
That's step one.
And then suddenly blossomed into this much more complicated but still awesome, like, let's do a joke and be really self-aware about what else we're bringing Skyrim on, and let's do it on Alexa, and we'll joke about these other things. But actually, it turns out we could also just make a Skyrim Alexa game, so let's just do that. Like, okay, what? Why? Like, yeah, because it's fun, it's funny, and because we can, and so we did. So yes, it's a joke, and we weren't going to say anything. We just wanted to wait and see who actually went to go, and it was fun to watch online where people are like, oh, I really want this to be a game, and somebody was like, oh my God, my Alexa just started playing Skyrim. It's a real thing. Like, it was fun to watch that unfold.
I love it. Now I just want to go home so that I can be with my Alexa and we can talk to each other and be Skyrim together.
Well, you have to let me know how well you do.
Roger that. I'm sure I'm going to do great. All right, thank you so much for joining us. You guys have a lot of games coming out very, very soon. Should we just run down the list really quickly?
If you can.
All right, let's go down. When can people play Rage 2?
Rage 2 will be out in the spring of 2019. Fallout 76 will be out November 14th for Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4. Blades will be out this fall. You can go register right now at playblades.com to participate in the beta. Let's see, the new Prey thing that we announced, Moon Crash is out right now along with the free update.
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal we are going to reveal August 10th live on the interwebs and at QuakeCon to everybody. So if you want to see the new Doom, tune in on August 10th to see that.
Youngblood
is next year.
VR.
Cyberpilot is next year. What
so
else?
many games.
Good God, we had a lot of stuff.
You guys got so much going on.
This is a fun game.
Yeah, we got a lot. Starfield eventually.
So close.
T.E.S. 6 longer than eventually.
Boy.
The full list is on Bethesda.net. Go to Bethesda.net and you can find out everything about everything.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you guys for having me.
Super excited. Really interested in what you guys are doing with Fallout 76 and actually getting our hands on it. So we are going to throw it back over to the sidecar where I imagine Gus and Bernie are going to squee about Fallout a little bit amongst themselves.